Hello. My name is Kevin Owasu, Itoe, and welcome. Today we are back. We are back with the last video I did was around page object model, right? But it was a theory. It was a theory on a page object model, right? And I showed you this page, right? So today we're going to do some code around page object model, right? And try and get some implementation going, right? So all of this stuff will be on previous videos as well, right? So page object model, the actual putting it all together in an implementation video, right? This will take a while, but let's just roll with it, right? So our first page, if you remember, will be this page, right? Page that actually it captures our user interaction, right? So let's create our first. We create our first class file, right? We create our first class file. And this class file, we're going to be using a website called Orange HRM, Orange HRM, right? For our demo site, right? So we'll just call this login to HRM admin, right? So we'll call that login to HRM admin, right? So this is our first class file, right? Our first class file, which is going to contain all the user actions that we're going to be carrying out on our page, right? Which is Orange HRM, right? So we know that the first thing to do for this class file to run in Serenity, you need Serenity runner class, right? So we want to use this annotation, run with, right? Open and close brackets, run with, and you type Serenity runner dot class. Too many class, dot class, right? So we hover over run with and import that, right? So far so good, right? This our test is going to run in Serenity because we have the Serenity runner class, right? Now we want to have a browser, right? We want to be able to have a browser where we're going to execute. I mean, where we're going to use the browser to open our page we want to interact with, right? So if you go to in Serenity, right, we have this Serenity properties file. And we've already declared what sort of browser we want to be using in our test case, right, in our framework, right? So and that's Chrome browser, right? So all we need to do here is go web driver, and that's us, right? But we need to hover over this and import that package, right? Import the driver package, right? So that's us, right? We've initialized our browser that we're going to be using, which is Chrome, right? And also we've come across an annotation called managed, right? Managed, right? And this has to be capital N. Managed, right? And this managed annotation is also Serenity, right? It's also an annotation from Serenity, and it allows you to manage your browser, so it opens and closes your browser every time you run a test, right? Yeah, every time you run a test. So far so good with all this Serenity we are using so far, the Serenity annotations, right? So now we are ready to write our test, right? So all we do is public void, and what do we want to call our test? We want to call our test log in to Orange HRM, right? Open and close, and we just want to open our braces and close our braces, right? Sorry, get this 7 out of the way, right? So that's our test structure written, right? And we know that to run our test, right, we need to run our test, we need a test annotation, right? Which is to run our test in GUnit, we need test annotation, right? So we hover over that, right? So now this structure is in place, right? This structure is in place. The first class file that is going to hold all our interaction, the user interaction with our page, right? This is a first class file. So we know that this is going to hold the user interactions. Now we want to create methods around those user interactions, right? And those methods that we're going to create, we want to hold it on a separate class file, right? We want to hold it on a separate class file. So if we go back to our drawing here, right? So we have created this page, right? And now I want to link it to this one, right? So this page holds all our user actions, right? And this page we want to create methods for those user actions, right? So let's go back. So here we can either go and create this manually, or here if something that Serenity allows you to do, right? If you say, oh, I want to create a new class, right? And in here just call this new class home page, right? And then just go home, right? And once you hover over here, Serenity actually asks you if you want to create this as a class file. So now if you click onto that and it says yes, it gives you this pop-up. Now I don't want to put it into this package, which is this package. I want to put it underneath this package, right? This package here, right? So I say browse, and then I select my own package, and I say finish, right? So this is our method class created, our method class file, sorry, our method class file, right? This one, that's what created this, right? So now we can start writing our methods, right? Those are our methods. So the sort of things you might want to, so if we go public void, right? The first sort of thing you want to do when you arrive onto a web page that you want to interact with is probably check the title, right? So we say verify title, right? Open and close that, and then open and close braces, right? So that's our first method. Our first method is to verify the title, right? And once you verify the title, you make sure you're on the right page, because our page requires a login, right? So a username and a password, right? A username and a password. So next one I want to probably say is enter username password, right? So that's our second method, enter username password, right? And then next, sorry, I'm just copying and paste this, right? And to waste too much time. And probably when you've logged into another page, so we logged in and probably a dashboard is displayed, right? So you want to call this verify dashboard, right? Verify dashboard, right? So now we have this in place. We go back here, right? We go back here to our main test class, where all our user actions are going to be, right? Here we have several user actions. Now this is key for Serenity, right? On your main page where you have all your user actions that you're going to be modeling all your user actions, you have several actions there, right? So you use an annotation called steps. Now this step stands for the several actions you're going to be carrying on this page, right? And you import that, right? So on your main page, you're going to be carrying out several user actions, right? But on your methods page, you're going to be breaking down those user actions into single steps or into single methods on your methods page, right? So here you want to use the annotation called step annotation, right? And then just hover over that and import the package, right? Now you want to put this on every single method that you're going to be carrying out, right? You want to put this on every single method you're going to carry out. Another cool thing with Serenity is that you can actually see what you're going to be doing in this step, right? So you can see this step is to verify a title, right? But it's complaining because it needs this in quotations, or not quotations, but open and closed. Yeah. Right, so that's why I was complaining, right? And then you could see in this one, you could say this step will let us log in, right? Again, I want to put this in speech marks, right? Again, this one will say this step will dashboard, right? Again, we need our open and closed, right? So now this is our methods, our methods class, our methods class file, right? A method class file. Now this is a shell of our methods class file, right? Now again, as we gathered from our theory, our vision on page object model theory, we need a third class file that's going to hold our test code, right? That's going to hold our test code. So we want to create another class file, right? So go to new class, and then we want to call this orange HRM code, or say test code. Test code, just call it now, right? So click finish, right? In here as well, we want to have all the actions that we're going to carry out, but here we're going to have the methods and the test code, right? Test code. So again, same methods we want to carry out. We just write out public void verify title, right? I'm going to open and close the braces. So that's our first test to write. First test code to write on to verify title. Next one will be to enter user name, password, and then next one will be to verify dashboard, right? Verify dashboard, right? So we'll got another empty skeleton here for a class, right? And this is going to hold our test, our code, right? So we want to go back to the methods, right? And in here, we want to link this and see the actions we're going to be doing, right? So this methods is going to be linked to this code, right? Now we want to link this page, right, So we want to link this page to our methods page, right? Want to link this page to our methods page, right? So we call this again home, right? And there we go, right? And all we could do now from this page to call our test code, right? All we could do from this page to call our test code is just to type home dot sorry, on the wrong page. So on our methods page, all we want to do to call our code page, which is our code which we have not written yet, all we have to do is just go here and go home dot verify title, right? And that's all we have to do there. And then this one will be home dot enter username password, right? And the final one is home dot verify dashboard, right? So our methods file is complete. Our methods file is complete, right? So now let's go write some code that goes with our methods, right? Let's write some code that goes with our methods. And here we go. We have our get driver, which is Serenity as well. Get driver dot, no, not inside. Get driver dot. Get driver. Just get driver outside dot. It should be no. It's definitely get driver dot. We want to find our. We want to make sure that we get driver. Need to get the title, right? Make the title. So all we have to type in is do get driver. Dot. Right. See why that's not, because here now this is good. This is good because we need to extend this page to get web element facades, right? I'm trying to type in web element facades there and it's not happening, right? So this is very good that you got that, right? So all you have to do is you have to extend this class file, right? Extends this class file to get page object class, right? So you could get web element facade, right? So hover over here and import that. That's why I was typing the code for Serenity and it wasn't coming up, right? So we'll go get driver dot, nope, not dot, you have to do that first, and then dot, and then you go get title, right? So that's us. We've said get driver and we've got our title, right? But this is going to be returned in a string, right? It's going to be returned in a string. So we'll go object return in a string. So we'll call this a title, right? So we've returned that in our string, right? We've returned our title in a string, and then we could use this now to do an assert, right? Assert dot assert, and then we could say Oh, no, 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 not, I don't want to array. I want to use true, right? True. I want to use dot assert true, right? So I want to go with true, true and boolean, true and boolean condition, right? Boolean condition. Now we'll go with Itoe. So true if Itoe contains, right? If Itoe contains orange HRM, orange HRM, right? So now that's that one. So if your title contains orange HRM, then that passes that condition, right? And so you're on the right page, right? And now all we have to use for Serenity now with the web element facade you would have watched before, all you have to do is a $sign, and then it's find by dot, and then you use ID dot ID, right? And all we need to put in here, and then dot ID dot, what do we want to pass here? So what we wanting to do, we want to say enter or not type. So I want to say type. Okay, I want to use type. So I'm going to type in the username, right? So we would type in admin, right? And then we close that. And then in here, we put in our, I've already done the inspect, right? So I know what the ID element is, or what it's called. Let's open our orange HRM page, right? So that we have it open there, so you can actually see what the page is, right? So this is a page we're trying to model, right? So let me grab the username for our, right? So put it in here. Now we want to do the same, and we want, this time want to enter password, right? So I want to do the password, and then here as password, password, and here we want to say type and enter, right? So we want to say type dot type and enter. Selenium allows you to do that, and the password I want to enter is admin123, right? Admin123, and I want to close that off, right? So now that's you done, right? That's you done with your entering your username and password. And here we want to do the same thing, but this one is a URL, right? So we say get driver dot current it's not giving me anything there. Get driver, again I forgot to use my open and close brackets, right? Dot current, so current URL, right? That's also right. Again, this will return a string, so we want to say string, and I want to call that current URL equals, right? And again, we just do our assert, right? So these are things that we do an assert. Oh, sorry, not offline. Down here, do an assert. Dot assert. Dot assert. Again, it's true, right? True Boolean condition, and you say current URL dot contains URL dot contains dash right, and that's your code. That's your code class finished, right? That's a code class finished. So we finished our code class, or test code class. This one, we finish this one, and now we go back to our main class file. Our main class file where we want to run our test, right? So here we want to be able to say driver dot get URL, right? And then we pass in our URL for our, right? Copy this. Let's close this so that it doesn't close this so that our test doesn't get confused when we try to run it, right? Now the actions we've done now is we've got the URL, right? We've got the URL. Next, we want to, it's all the user actions that we carried out, right? That we've made we've had methods for, and now we have test case for, right? So we just go home dot verify title home dot enter user password, right? Then home dot verify dashboard, right? And that's our test complete. That's our test complete, right? I know you've watched the theory video which had this bit, so that has made you understand this a little bit more, right? So what happened is, this is our main class file. Our main class file holds the interactions that we're going to do on the page, right? The page that we are trying to log into, which is our orange HRM page, right? And we have to link this page, this main page, to our home page, which is going to hold our methods, right? So that's how we linked this one to this page, right? And this page holds our methods, right? Holds all our methods. Don't forget, for Serenity, your main page will carry the annotation steps, right? Because it's got these steps, user actions here, right? And then on your methods page, you split down the steps into single steps, right? Single steps with the single methods, right? Now that carries the annotation steps, right? And then we've linked our methods page with our test code execution page, right? And then we've written our code in here, right? So now if we go into our main test, our main file, and we run this and we see what happens, right? See what happens. Fingers crossed this works, right? And if this works, I'm going to leave this just now because the video has got too long, right? And we're going to see how we get the reports in the next video. Okay, see how we get the reports in the next video. Hopefully this runs and passes. I forgot to extend my test class file to show so that we can get some page object classes. Page object class. Right, there we go. Well, that held that. So it types it in and logged in, right? And then it's got dashboard on there, right? So it should close this automatically. If it doesn't, then that's it. So test passed, right? Test passed. So this is too long right now, right? I've gone and try and refresh here and try and get the reports, but we'll do that in the next one, right? Next video. We'll see the reports from this test I've just run. Okay, hopefully that explains the implementation of a page object model. And my name is Kevin Owasu. Remember, we are trying to improve ourselves in this channel by upskilling ourselves and learning new technologies as we go along, right? Which will help us in our 9 to 5. It will help us in if you want to go to do any gigs on by yourself to make some extra cash. Okay. So my name is Kevin Owasu Itoe. I'm signing out.